Hi, welcome back to my decorating series. We're going to go inside and start on the sixth floor today. It's the reading room this time. I really didn't know what I was going to do with this room. This floor is going to have kind of a theme going on, and it's going to be tricky, I think, to make things distinct from each other. So, I'm not really sure how it's going to go. We'll find out. But instead of starting with walls and floors, I decided to start with the seating because my first thought was this is a place I want to go and sit and read a book. And I didn't want to reuse the same couches. I was afraid I might recreate like the lounge or something like that, and I really didn't want to do that. I definitely wanted it to be cozier and have like really plush seating, like you'd want to go and just sit for hours and grab a book and a cup of coffee or a cup of tea. But I didn't want to make it like really dark and heavy. And yeah, I put all the books out just to kind of give myself a little feeling of what it would be like. I put the bookcases out. Again, I kind of just feel like I'm going to end up picking a lot of the same doors over and over again just because the options are kind of odd, I think, for interior doors. I know I've said it before, but, you know, I always feel that way when I'll get doors. I'm like, some of these just don't look right. And I actually even thought about the regular door, like the default door, just because it was kind of in this olivey green palette. And I didn't do that, but I thought about it. I knew I wanted a fireplace in here. I knew I didn't want a ton of bookshelves in here just because it's like, this isn't the library. This is just the reading room. And I know I want to make a library, so I didn't want to make it too many books, but obviously I wanted books in here because it's a reading room. So, oh, and yes, this fireplace essentially is what dictates this room in the end. I really like the mushroomy fungus stuff, and I'm not sure how often I'm going to use a lot of that. And then that fungi that goes on the wall, it's huge, but I've been trying to use it somewhere, so this became the room for me to try and use the mushroom stuff. I've used like a couple pieces before, but not in earnest, I guess, like as it being kind of the focal of the room. I really wish we had more of it because there really aren't a ton of pieces with the mushrooms growing off of it or the fungus, you know, those little, they're so cute. But I made do with what I had because I have no other choice. I either don't put stuff down or I make do with what's there. Oh, here we go. Measuring again. The room was too big. I'm actually kind of surprised how many rooms I have sized down. Not that I've done a ton of them, but I feel like I always want more space. So it's interesting to me when I'm like, this room is too big. And I like being able to make it a rectangle. I still wish we could make like L-shaped rooms or stuff like that. But again, these are the mechanics that we have, and who knows what they'll do in the future. I actually was thinking about, well, in a year from now, should I go back and revisit some of these earlier rooms just to see what new objects have come along that I want to swap out? I think I'll give it a bit before I try that, but the thought actually occurred to me today, like, what happens when I get to go back and revamp some of these spaces? Who knows? Maybe they'll give us more mushrooms. Oh, and again with the centering, I wanted a coffee table, and I wanted it kind of in the center of the rug. Couldn't get it done, especially since I have everything kind of on an angle there. I don't remember what I go with in the end, but I feel like it works out okay. I think it might be that one. Yeah, this one here. And I just make do with it being kind of off-center because there was no centering. It was not going to happen. Yes, and it gave me a chance to use the branches with the candles up top because they matched the fireplace. And then I think I've used that table before, like kind of that apothecary desk thing. I don't remember what it's called, but I used it again in here just because it kind of, you know, tied that fungus theme together. I'm not sure how I feel about the windows I go with. Yeah, these ones. But I want to use the stained glass ones, and I haven't really felt like I could put them someplace else yet. And it's hard putting windows when it's in that middle room because you can actually see the little elevator platformy thing through the windows. So sometimes it makes it tricky if you don't want to see that, what windows to put there. Oh yeah, and this gave me more excuse to add more candles, because those oak branch things, I was like, ooh, we could just make it all candles in here and give it that vibe. Oh, centering. Centering. I went to Scrooge's shop and I did the craft table. I crafted a couple things and then didn't end up using them. I crafted a map, like a pirate map, and it ended up being a lot bigger than I thought it was going to be. So although I didn't use it in here in the end, I have a plan. I have an idea of which room I want to put that in. So I'm glad I crafted it, just didn't use it today. Oh, and here I am trying to make it not look all the same. And also make it not look like the mushrooms are growing into the chair. But since we only have one style of fungus, it was kind of limited to, you know, just moving it up and down on the wall to kind of change it up, break it up. I do like the one that's above the tree and the one that's above the little bookshelf, because they look like they're at an angle, like they mirror the angle of the furniture and the plant. Oh, and I wanted plants in here. I feel like I use a lot of the same plants, but what are you gonna do? Like, when you like a thing, right? Yeah, I didn't end up scrolling as much for this room. I feel like I had a pretty good sense of what I wanted it to be by the time I got to this point. It's possible that I missed some stuff, but since I made the room smaller and since I wanted to make it so focused on like this cozy, candly, mushroomy vibe, I didn't feel like it was super necessary to scroll. I'm also kind of getting a better sense of the stuff that's in the game, so it makes it a little less tedious to go scrolling. Oh yeah, and I didn't like the wood floors being bare completely, and I actually like how these little leaf rugs turned out in here. I feel like sometimes they look a little too cartoony, which, I mean, it's a cartoony game, but it worked out in here. All right, well, let's go inside and check it out, shall we? I really didn't know what I was going to do with this room at first, and it kind of morphed on its own. And although I really, really wish we had more varieties of mushrooms and fungus stuff, I think it turned out okay. I'm worried that I, you know, overused those mushrooms, but I love this little, like, nook. I love the fact that I remembered to make cups of tea and coffee, or no, I think I just made coffee. But I like the fact that there's a couple of cups of coffee sitting around because there's a little coffee cart in here. And I could imagine somebody, you know, reading till the wee hours and setting their book down, setting their cup of coffee down, and just going to bed because they read way too late and have to go crash. But yeah, I'm really excited that I got to use like the fireplace and those branch candle ceiling light things. I don't remember what they call them, but I really like them, and it's kind of hard to tie them into a lot of the other aesthetics and vibes for other objects and different in the different movies. Like, their stuff is hard to tie in with it, but I think I ended up doing a pretty good job. I tried to use like these olivey greens and these kind of reddish browns, and have books in here, but books like people set aside and not are organized like in a library, because sometime soon I'm gonna actually make a library. But for not having an idea about what I wanted to do with this space, I actually really enjoyed how it turned out. You know, there are some things that I would like to see come into the game to change it up a little bit, but for what we've got going on right now, I'm pretty satisfied with the outcome. That's it for today's decorating adventure. If you liked this video, a thumbs up is a great way to let me know, and a subscription will keep you up to date on my latest shenanigans. If you want to hang out with me live, I stream on YouTube and Twitch on Thursday evenings and middays on Sunday. I hope you have a lovely day, night, time, wherever you are, whenever you are. And I'll see you next time.